This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, I think it would be safe to say for some people, no matter how Anthony Joshua performed on Saturday night when he retained his unified heavyweight world titles, it didn't matter how the fight was going to go. People had already predetermined what they were going to say after the fight. They were going to say that Anthony Joshua was gun shy. They were going to say Anthony Joshua is still showing a mental hangover since the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight. Okay? Now, I'm going to be using a fair bit of comparisons between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury because I get accused of being a Tyson Fury fanboy a lot. I get accused of being an Anthony Joshua fanboy a lot. Well, I'm actually a British fanboy. And in truth, I'm a Dillian Whyte fanboy because I speak with Dillian Whyte very, very regularly. Fury, Joshua, not so much. So when it comes to these guys, put them both in the ring, I'll be ecstatic for the winner and devastated for the loser. Okay, I love both these guys. But I need to do the comparisons because first and foremost, people want to see these guys fight. Okay, hopefully next, both of these guys collectively hold all the titles in the heavyweight division. Okay, it's the biggest fight in boxing, right? And of course, they're both British. Now, the comparison's not about who's going to win this, that, and the other, but I'll explain as we go along. Now, as far as Anthony Joshua's performance over Kubrat Pulev, for those who say that he's gun shy, exactly how? He dropped Pulev 4 times. Well, to the canvas 3 times, but of course one where Kubrat Pulev, he turned his back and was trying to cling onto the corner for dear life, and the referee had to step in and give him a standing 8 count. In some ways, the referee should have stopped the fight at that point because he turned his back. When a fighter turns their back, you stop the fight. It means they don't want any more. But it's what it is. 4 times and hit him with numerous uppercuts. Kubrat Pulev, what a warrior. He's much more of a warrior than what I thought he was going to be. Okay, so we have to give massive credit to Kubrat Pulev for the amount of shots that he took. Okay, so to say that Anthony Joshua is gun shy, what are you watching exactly? But as I said, some people had it predetermined. That's what they were going to say. To say that he had a mental hangover from the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, again, that was going to be predetermined. But it didn't matter what Anthony Joshua had done in that fight. People hold Anthony Joshua to a standard that they don't hold other fighters to. What is it exactly that you wanted Anthony Joshua to do that you would have given him credit for? For some people, it didn't matter what he'd done, he weren't going to get no credit. People say that he was old. Was he? He was 39 years old. But how come the same people who were criticising Joshua for fighting his mandatory, again, Joshua had no choice but to fight him. Okay, he didn't choose Kubrat Pulev, it was his mandatory, his IBF mandatory. So, to say Kubrat Pulev is old, okay, so why was it that people were saying that it was a good fight for Hughie Fury when the age gap is so much bigger? Why was it that people give huge praise to Deontay Wilder for defeating Luis Ortiz, who is 3 years older than Kubrat Pulev? Officially, but probably a lot more, right? So let's hold certain people to the same kind of standard, okay? Now, his performance, was it perfect? No. Is there such a thing as a perfect performance? No, there isn't. Ask Tyson Fury, was his performance perfect when he fought Deontay Wilder in the rematch? And he will tell you no. And he's told you no, it wasn't. There were things that he could have done and should have done to have got rid of him much quicker. For me, I don't know how Fury can be critical of himself, to be honest with you. I thought it was a great performance, okay? But it is what it is. There's no such thing as a perfect performance. So what is it that Joshua could have done or should have done that would have impressed you? Did he lose a single round? No, he didn't. Did he knock him out? Yes, he did. Did he knock Pulev down to the canvas multiple times? Yes, he did. Gun shy is not a word you can use for Anthony Joshua in that fight. But as I said, people were going to predetermine it anyway. Now, again, everybody is entitled to have a fight where they're going to go some distance. Okay? Fury didn't put on a great performance against Otto Wallen, did he? Yes, he got that nasty cut for sure. But he has the ability to turn up in certain fights where he doesn't perform the way that he did against Wilder. Bearing in mind, with the way that Fury fought Wilder in the rematch, he could not do with Anthony Joshua. If he did, I'd be very, very impressed. But I don't think he can. His tactics will be totally different. People will say how Anthony Joshua fought Kubrat Pulev. He'll definitely get knocked out by Tyson Fury. Will he? But again, he ain't going to fight Tyson Fury that way. Anthony Joshua will fight Tyson Fury the way that he thinks he should fight Tyson Fury. The way that his team will suggest to him, that's how you fight Tyson Fury. Much like Tyson Fury will. He will make changes to fight Anthony Joshua. Okay? That's what they do. They make their adjustments depending on their opponent. People want to say that Anthony Joshua, he was running around against Andy Ruiz Jr. Well, what is it that Tyson Fury's done for a long, long time? He does that with a lot of opponents, but that's masterful boxing. Anthony Joshua runs away. People say that Anthony Joshua, he was mentally weak and showed that he didn't really want to engage with Kubrat Pulev because he's nervous to get knocked out. You may have a point in that one, but that's a good thing, isn't it? Again, go back to Tyson Fury. Why does Tyson Fury usually fight the way that he does? On the back foot, keeping the distance. Why does he do that? Because he knows he don't want it on the whiskers. Because he can be dropped, he can be hurt. That's why he does it. It's a smart thing to do. It's evolving your arsenal, isn't it? That's exactly what it's doing. So I have no problems with Anthony Joshua's performance whatsoever. Sure, we can be critical. We could say that maybe he should have put his foot on the gas at certain points in the fight. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he didn't sleep too well. Maybe when you've got that guy in front of you, maybe Pulev punches a lot harder than maybe it looks like on TV. While nothing was really landing flush, Pulev does carry big punch power. Okay? Pulev was pretty game in that fight, was he not? Yes, I do think Joshua possibly could got rid of him earlier, but what if he just emptied his tank and didn't get rid of him? Then people are not currently talking about today Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua next, undisputed. People won't be talking like that because maybe Kubrat Pulev would have landed one on him. He won the fight. You have to give him credit for that. Joshua has an outstanding resume. Outstanding. You can be his harshest critic. He's got an outstanding resume. Let's be honest with that. Pulev is a top 10 fighter. Has been for a number of years. Only ever lost to Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, he has not really fought the best of the best since then. His two best wins will be Hughie Fury and Derek Chisora. Outside of that, ain't really done too much. I can give you that one for sure. Age, again, don't even go there. So when it comes to his performance, I don't get why people are going to have this, well, he's shown a mental hangover. He's shown mental weakness. Anthony Joshua does not show mental weakness. He doesn't. And I don't know why people, well, ever since Anthony Joshua's really turned pro, people just don't like Joshua. Some people don't like him. Some people will put him on a real high pedestal, think he's invincible. That's wrong also. But he's not a terrible fighter. He doesn't have a weak heart. He doesn't have mental weakness. He doesn't have that. But people have been saying it ever since pretty much he turned pro. They don't like him because he's Anthony Joshua. They don't like him because he's not Deontay Wilder. They don't like him because he's not Tyson Fury. They don't like him because he's a matchroom fighter. You see, in today's era, to be a hardcore boxing fan, you have to hate matchroom. It's madness, absolute stupidity. For me, he's a Brit, okay? I'm going to support him no matter what. But the thing is, you can criticise him for his personal life, his personal belief, and that's on you, okay? That's entirely built. But we're talking boxing. He's done very, very well. Very well. Was it 25 fights now? Come on, let's give him some credit. Let's give him some credit. And the way that he fought Kubrat Pulev was brilliant, I thought. I thought it was fantastic. Yes, he took a couple of rounds off, but again, I think that is because he didn't want to blow a gasket. He didn't want to get knocked out. He didn't want to be breathing so he become vulnerable. And that's a good thing. He recognises that he has some weaknesses. Tyson Fury recognises that he himself has some weaknesses. Nobody is the perfect fighter. There's no such thing as the perfect fighter. There just isn't. You can draw comparisons with who would win and this, that, and the other between Fury and Joshua. If you're a real fanatical Anthony Joshua fan, you're going to be nervous when he steps foot in the ring with Tyson Fury. I'm telling you, your heart's going to be going 10 to the dozen. If you're a hardcore Tyson Fury fan, same thing. You're going to be very nervous that Anthony Joshua beats him. Some people are just very, very emotionally invested in both of these guys. And fair play, I am too. I always want to see these guys win. I never ever want to see either of these guys lose. But it's boxing. They're both going to lose at some point. Joshua's already taken a loss. Fury's got a draw with Wilder. Shouldn't have been a draw, should have been a win. I can totally agree with that one. But at some point, Fury will lose. He will. If he's going to hang around for a fair bit longer and he keeps on taking on some of the best guys, at some point he's going to lose. Everyone's going to have a bad night at the office. It is what it is. It's heavyweight boxing, man. One punch will change everything. We've seen that with Povetkin and Dillian White. Dillian White was dominating him, doing to Povetkin that nobody else has done. And then he got caught with one punch. Heavyweight boxing. That's why you should always have some defensive nervousness, if we can call it that. You should have that. But for me, Joshua, he was out jabbing arguably the best jabber in the heavyweight division. It's what people have been saying about Kubrat Pulev for the longest time. He's got the best jab in the heavyweight division. Joshua was out jabbing him. He was out boxing him and threw some big bombs with him as well. He was showing a bit of an all-round game where he can box and he can be the aggressor. He can go on the back foot and he can come forward. He showed all of it, did he not? And he got caught with a couple of good shots, not many. Not many. Again, that's because his defense is more tightened up now. But he took those shots. At no point was he buzzed. At no point was he wobbled. At no point was he hurt. So I'll go back to the original question. What is it that you wanted for Anthony Joshua? Why did you put him on this soapbox that other people are not on? Why do you not hold other fighters to the same standard that you do with Anthony Joshua? Why is that? Is it because you just don't like him? I don't know. Some people, again, Anthony Joshua fanatical fans. Doesn't matter what he does. He's the best that ever done it and got away with it. Let's judge all that at the end of the career. Same with Tyson Fury. You can say he's the best of all time if you want, but let's really look at it at the end of his career. Then we can make comparisons with Muhammad Ali and all the greats of the past. Right now, not Tyson Fury, not Anthony Joshua deserve and have done enough to warrant talk about being in the same league as Muhammad Ali and all the greats before them. Judge them at the end of their career. And I think both of these guys would agree with that one. But anyway, for me, I think Anthony Joshua put on a very good performance. I don't know what more people wanted from him. And even if he'd have done more, even if he'd have got rid of Pulev earlier, people will still say, oh, well, Pulev, he was old. Pulev, he was this. Anthony Joshua, well, maybe he should have got rid of him in 2 rounds instead of 3. People are going to be critical anyway. But to say he's gun-shy, that's probably the worst comment anybody can say. That Anthony Joshua was gun-shy in that fight. He weren't gun-shy at all. Not even close to it. All right? Anyway, drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.